Well, hi folks. Sorry there's been no output from me for a couple of weeks. You can put the blame on the weather. I've got about half a dozen models that need test flights or second test flights. I've got this £5 Chuck Jet that I've converted to RC. That was a tricky job. That needs a test flight. I've got a couple of Lidls. I've made about 10 of these big Lidl conversions. This is my EDF version, and I've added a thrust tube to it, so I'm very curious to see whether that's going to make a great deal of difference to performance. I've also got my little Vulcan, very simple little Vulcan, has had a bigger motor. I'm really dying to see how that's going to fly now. And if you're not familiar with these little Chuck gliders, about once a year they're in the shops. You probably have seen them anyway. I've built about 10 of the big ones, made about 5 RC conversions of the little mini Chuck gliders that you get in Lidl's for a £5, including singles, twins, 4-motor even. This is my mini little Stumpy, which has had about 4 or 5 evolutions. That's had a rebuild. That needs another test flight. Most successful of all was the biplane. If you're stuck in with the weather, do check out my vids of these. Absolutely love flying this one. But anyway, I came up with an idea, and the idea was triggered when I saw these little parachute toys on Temu. About £1 a throw. £1 a throw, do you get it? Anyway, I thought, well, why not build a transporter of some sort so that you can actually fly this and then try and do a parachute drop, even targeted parachute drop. So Parachute Man's on his way, all the way from China. Hope he makes it. But in the meantime, I had to come up with an idea for a transporter. So it was, first off, ideas on the back of a fag packet type job. It's not actually a fag packet because I don't smoke. But first thing I thought was the Argosy. Does anyone remember the Argosy transporter? Going quite a few years back, 20, 30 years back. It had twin booms, but a trapdoor thing at the back for dropping parachute loads, etc. Bit of a complication though, very fat wide body, and I've got one spare brushless motor kicking about, so really I didn't want a big fat body on it. Don't think it would have been very efficient with a one prop fuselage. Also thought about the Skyvan, this thing here that was around 10, 20, 30 years ago, but again very big wide transporting fuselage. And of course most of these transport aircraft have got 4 motors mounted on the wing. So then I thought, what about the Hercules, the good old C-130? So that's what I decided to base this on. Next step was, what are you going to do it with? Well, I've got loads of this stuff kicking around at home, cheap as chips, foam board, so that was going to be the solution for that. But also, from my experiments with making a foam board cutter, the video's just there, and I did make a couple of good things with that, I also had this spare wing kicking around. So I figured, measure this, decide what length fuselage is going to look proportionate to this, which turned out to be about 24, 25 inches, and then try and get some drawings of a Hercules. So I found a couple of images online, and the next step of course was to turn it into a usable plan. So first off, it was a question of rescaling to the appropriate size. Like I say, I wanted a fuselage length of about 24 inches. And then of course the next step after that was turning it into a PDF and print it. Found some software that will let you turn a JPEG into a PDF, and then Adobe Reader 11, which is free, will let you print it off in tiled form, which is very useful for most of us that haven't got huge flatbed printers. So printed them off, and this is where we are today. So I'm quite happy with it. Made a bit of a boo-boo because scaling wise I should have actually considered the maximum size of an A2 foam board sheet. So what I'm going to have to do is shorten the fuselage, not by much, shorten the fuselage by that much. Still going to look okay. The nose is going to be fine for single prop. The build of it will just be simple. This is going to be, I'll cut 2 of those out, so that's going to be the side profile. Can't attempt to make it round, and the top and bottom will just be foam board like so, suitably bent. I can make a nice ramp here at the back, which is going to be interesting to figure the release mechanism and so on. But the thing I enjoy about this kind of thing is the design process and coming up with ideas how to actually achieve the drop and so on. As far as the wing goes, probably going to sit about there. I'll round it a bit and change the colour because it looks pretty awful. Put some packing tape on and maybe spray it black. That's going to sit about there. Just ailerons and elevator. So that's the plan. It'll be a bit of fun, keep me busy while it's blowing a hoolie and raining outside, which has just gone on relentlessly for weeks now. So that's going to keep me busy. I'm still waiting for Parachute Man, so I can't actually decide yet how wide the fuselage is going to be. Don't want to make it too wide, otherwise it's going to create problems for the single prop. But if you want to see how I get on with this, why not hit subscribe down there? And if you're really bored because of this awful weather we've had lately, I'm in the UK, I don't know what it's like elsewhere, but if you're really bored, why not take time to check out some of those other vids, my many little conversions and other stuff on my channel. But that's all for now. Hopefully I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.